Dr. O'Connor, were you ever told to lie about the president's health?
On the advice of counsel, I must respectfully decline to answer based upon the physician-patient privilege and in reliance on my right under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution. I am not a lawyer. I must follow my lawyer's advice in this matter.
Let the record reflect that Dr. O'Connor has invoked the Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination.
Former President Biden's physician on the hot seat, Dr. Kevin O'Connor, pleading the Fifth after being subpoenaed by the Republican-run House Oversight Committee.
Oversight Committee Chairman, Congressman James Comer, saying Dr. O'Connor invoked the Fifth Amendment for these two questions. Were you ever told a lie about the president's health? And did you ever believe President Biden was unfit to execute his duties?
While speaking with reporters after the hearing, Congressman Comer had this to say about Dr. O'Connor's refusal to answer questions.
This is unprecedented, and I think that this adds more fuel to the fire, that there was a cover-up. I believe that this adds legitimacy to the Tapper book and the other books that are in the works that are about to come out that shows there was a lot of suspicious activity taking place in the White House with respect to the president's health.
Dr. O'Connor's attorney sent a letter to the House Oversight Committee expressing concerns of his client failing to uphold physician-patient privilege. Dr. O'Connor's attorney also saying, quote, "We want to emphasize that asserting the Fifth Amendment privilege does not imply that Dr. O'Connor has committed any crime."
Well, that is all true, and he has the right to exercise the Fifth Amendment.
As
and
he
also,
should.
he has both, in his case, he has both the Fifth Amendment and, yes, the doctor-patient confidentiality argument.
Also HIPAA to consider.
Yeah, he's correct from his standpoint to do all this. It's still a shame. I would like to know what he knew, and just, putting this out there, there is no way that he did not understand the vast decline in physical and psychological ability that Joe Biden suffered over the course of his presidency. He knew, he said nothing. It's his job, I guess, to say nothing. So, yeah, I'm not like, it's not some, I guess, huge ethical lapse. You might have hoped that we lived in a country where if the president's doctor found out that the president was incapable of being the president, he might subtly suggest that to the media or something, let people in for the sake of our national security as major world events are transpiring, as peace accords and financial matters are being negotiated with Russia and China and the Middle East, and we have someone incapable of fulfilling those duties, not all of the time, but a lot of the time, that no one spoke up. The doctor didn't speak up. He's just like everybody else who didn't speak up. Fine. That's what happened, and he should definitely plead the Fifth, and that's that.
Look, we've established Biden's team certainly mishandled everything in the transparency around his health. We're on the same page. I think most Americans are.
This is the one guy who has absolutely no excuse. He's a
But we're not on the same page is that this is not a smoking gun. This headline didn't change most Americans' days. You know what did?
Sure.
People waking up thinking about health care, thinking about whether they have Medicaid, thinking about Social Security. No, because there's so much better to do, and taxpayer dollars should not be spent on political theater. The same people who asked everyone not to relitigate what President Trump did or didn't do during January 6th or try to impeach the president again. The same way I told you when Jasmine Crockett...
But we did relitigate all those things.
But when Jasmine Crockett recently brought up that she would consider impeaching President Trump again, I was like, please, no. Americans don't want to hear that. Americans do not want to hear about how the last president was unhealthy. You know what happened? He made it through his term. You know what happened? We have a new president. People who voted for President Trump got what they wanted. Every single thing cannot be about his health, because we know that this is Trump's biggest, place to lay his hat on, right? He has immigration, which people said he followed through on, and attacking President Biden. But at some point, as months pass and we get deeper into the year, we are further from a President Biden term as president. And so you cannot continue to just point fingers about how bad he did. You are in the middle of a crisis in many ways that Americans want to figure it out. And we had the book, and that was the smoking gun. Now you're harassing the doctor, and we're
harassing. We're asking a question.
Biden he's not going to answer.
Cancer.
He's a doctor.
Biden has
He's
cancer.
a doctor.
Team Biden has claimed he just found out about it. I don't believe that. I mean, we know he had cancer for longer than that.
Tell me how that changes your day if he had cancer 6 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago. He still is no
changes
longer
my day.
president.
I don't-
It doesn't change it. No one in America is yearning for this information. Besides,
I don't agree.
Besides,
no one in America is yearning
No
for
one
this
that I'm
information.
talking to is yearning for this
Millions of
information.
people want
No, they
to know
care
more about
what's
the
gonna happen
cover-up.
to their wallet. They care more about day-to-day issues, and this seems like a fluff issue that we're wasting money
can
on.
care about
when there's
multiple
so much.
things.
Yes, you can do multiple things at once, but I just feel like this one is over-exaggerated because there's plenty of time to talk about this, but it doesn't change anything about
It
policy
speaks
right
to
now.
trust and credibility in the Democratic Party. These people pretended that Biden was good to go for another 4 years until they tried to, foist that lie on the American people. They got caught, and so we're talking to the people who clearly knew. The doctor of all people absolutely knew. I'm not sure, but I suspect he knew Biden had cancer well before, months before, certainly before the results of before Biden pulled out, before the election, and that information was not revealed. I mean, do Republicans, does Trump benefit from this level of inner protection and secrecy? People are always leaking
because
to
of
the
the
press
lack of
because the
trust.
media takes an interest in what goes on and presses sources within the administration to talk and to gossip. And, maybe this is to the Biden people's credit that they had it all on lockdown. No one was letting this secret get out until it was utterly exposed. I think that's actually bad for our country.
But perhaps this doctor didn't know about cancer well in
Oh,
advance.
come
And perhaps it's
on.
like his circle said, okay, cognitive decline.
This is him in the exam room. Feels all right. That's all good.
No, that's not how cancer doesn't always work like that. Sometimes it can pop up. That's what I'm trying to say. No one knows what he does or didn't know, and he's literally just being a doctor. You saying you're hoping for the best in the country that just reveals information about a president that's not necessary in this moment. He may have found out about
You're going
cancer.
with the "you can't handle the truth"
No,
excuse?
it's not. You can't handle the truth. He bowed out of the election a year before.
Well, after he was caught.
After he stuttered through that horrific debate, he bowed out of the election. So at that point, it really doesn't matter anymore about how healthy or not healthy he was, because he wasn't on the table to be potential president. So the fact that I think the worse that Democrats look for Republicans and for President Trump, the better he looks, even though there are a slew of things we can point to that President Trump could be doing better and more effectively right now. I think the worse that Democrats look historically, even if it was a year ago, makes Republicans look good, and so they're going to keep harping on this in the same way that Democrats did the same thing when it was time to make Trump look bad after he left office and after January 6th happened. They stayed on that topic and wasted too much time and were ineffective. So unless Republicans want to be the party that's ineffective as well, they can continue on this Biden rampage or accomplish something.
You want to moveon.org here.
I do.
don't think Democrats are ever going to stop harping about January 6th and the 2020 election. That's fine. And so I don't think Republicans, at least for right now, should shut up about the Joe Biden cover-up.
Not shut up. Let's talk about it for sure. I said it
Yeah.
was grossly mishandled, but I do think that taxpayer dollars being spent on it and trying to bring the doctor.
I think we can have
to-
a hearing
I think
when
we
we
can-
ask the doctor.
No, I think we can pause that hearing.
If we do
and use
10
it.
months of these, so I will agree with you.
Thank you.
James Comer hearings in the past have taken up with Hunter Biden, did eventually take on a note of theatricality where, okay, but nothing is being done. This is just another, we've put up or shut up. You've said you have evidence of some vast, scheme to enrich the Biden family and influence foreign policy. And then the evidence that Hunter Biden himself tried to do that is pretty compelling. The evidence that it involved Joe Biden, you have not actually produced yet. And I did eventually get sick of it. If that's what happens with this issue, I will also get sick of it. I'm not sick of it yet, and
how
I am
much
fine to
time?
put questions to the doctor.
How much time should I give this? A couple more months? We're going to go through 2026 with this? When will you be satisfied? Because you are really locked in about this story.
I'll tell
You'll let me
you
know?
when I start to yawn when we talk about it. Then you'll know. But I ain't there yet.
Up next, did MSNBC's Lawrence O'Donnell call the White House press corps the stupidest? That's a quote in history of the United States. Yes, he did. We'll tell you why next.